We will now have a presentation by Karel Kučera from the Czech Republic, which will focus on proverbs, including the adjective forms good, better, and best. The floor is yours, Karel.
So this is my presentation. I'm Karel Kučera.
Now it's okay.
Speaking from Prague, Czech Republic, and well, which is now a ghost city, sort of, because the virus is everywhere. Schools, bars, restaurants, everything is closed. But I'm not speaking about something that's sad. I'm speaking about, as Rui said, about something good and better and best. Now, yes. Let me start with something very general. All living creatures differentiate, at least between themselves and others, between what is dangerous to them and what is not, between what hurts and what does not, and between what they can eat and what they cannot, or what can possibly eat them. And so, as you see, the elementary nonverbal differentiations are binary. Now, the next slide. At a higher verbal level, the differentiation is more complex. Good, better, best, bad, worse, worst, instead of just good versus bad. Big, bigger, biggest, small, smaller, smallest, instead of just big versus small. Next slide, hopefully. I can't get the next slide there. It doesn't work very well. Yeah, it's there. No, this was already there. So this slide, yes. In the comparative forms, the differentiation may be even more finely modified by additions, as you can see here. Better or somewhat better, a little better, much better, even better, more beautiful, much more beautiful, very beautiful, even more beautiful. However, these finer modifications seem not to be used in proverbs, or very rarely. Let me speak about three major general adjectival patterns used both in proverbs and everyday communication. X plus to be plus as, possibly, plus the positive of an adjective plus as Y, like John is tall or John is as tall as Paul. Now, the second pattern is X plus to be plus the comparative, then Y, like John is taller than Paul. And the third pattern is X plus to be plus the superlative of an adjective plus Y, possibly of all. John is the tallest, or John is the tallest of all. Now, another slide. Both English and Czech in both English and Czech. No, this is not right. Let me see. Both in English and Czech proverbs, as well as in the English and Czech languages generally, the high frequency of good is largely due to the fact that good is very often used as a self-standing word and is not a part of any comparison. As for example, all good things must come to an end. Some examples from Proverbs. The key to a healthy body is a good head. In calm water, every ship has a good captain. Good clothes open all doors. Good fences make good neighbors. It is good to swim near a boat. So yes, here we have the presentation. And you cannot see the slides, right? Can you see the slides?
Yes, we
can. Great. I thought no. Moreover, good is also used together with better in two-part comparisons, as such as to believe is good, but not to believe is better. Great business is good. To sit and sip this glass is better, say in China. And in some places on words like brag is a good dog, but hold fast is better. Brag is possibly a dog's name, but here it is a person who brags himself or herself about what he can do. But hold fast, something or could be a dog's name too, possibly, is better. That is a person who really performs, who really can fix things, do things, not just brag about them. And another play of on words. Willing is a good man, but able is a better one. Well, willing is possibly again a man's name, but here it is a person willing, saying that she's willing or he's willing to do something. But able, that is the person who is able, is a better one. So play on words like this also employ the good and better in the same. So similarly, good is combined with the superlative, the best in the pattern. Good X is the best of Y. Like a good name is the best of all treasures. It's a very, very frequent word, I mean pronunciation scheme, pattern in Proverbs. A good name is the best of all treasures. A good deed is the best form of prayer. A good example is the best sermon. A good offense is the best defense. So again, it is combined very often with best, not only with be. All in all these patterns have got to be more frequent in Proverbs than its superlative best and the comparative better. And best, on the other hand, is not that frequent, but is the most evaluative of the three and has the strongest character of a definite statement, opinion, or belief. And as such, it often stands at the first place in the sentence where the stressed place. And as in these examples, the best answer to anger is silent. The best lessons a man ever learns is from his mistakes. Uh, some more examples good about the best. The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The next best time is now, which is very nice if you are a gardener and listen to this. The best way to keep one's word is not to give it. A leader is best when people barely know about he exists. This is something it is used very often about government, not just a leader. The government is best when people barely know it exists, when it really does the job and they don't know. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. I'm sorry for this shape. I had the slide here of me speaking, but it's not there. But I don't know what happened again. It's lost. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. He loves best who loves last. The best things are free, like health and so on. So best is used in these words. I actually now would speak about which words are most often combined with best and better and good, but I'm afraid I won't be able to finish in time and to make it so I put them in my article, and I probably will speak briefly about something that was the most sort of interesting for me. Fact that I found in this good, better, and best, and this is this. Frequency in Czech proverbs. It only Czech proverbs, but I feel that like it's also like that in better, but in English. But I didn't have so much material, so I will speak only about Czech. Good is the most frequent, as we said at the beginning, and is more frequent than the superlative, the best, it's 32%, and the comparative, better, 24%. Here you see the graph and see that, well, yes, it is most frequent, it is less frequent, but still they have a fair share in that graph. But if you compare it with the frequency of these if later on, I'm sorry, this is the wrong slide. If you speak about frequency in the Czech language generally, so it's completely different. Can you see it? These two do not have almost any share. They do, of course, especially in newspapers and texts like that. But it's 93% good. The frequency, 3% comparative, that is better, and 4% the superlative. So we probably all know or think that that the difference between the proverb and or the words in a proverb and the words, frequency of words in common language. So it is primarily markedly fixed syntax, because the proverb, you cannot change the syntax very much in the proverb. Although, as Fiona said, you can change the fixed vocabulary and make it new proverbs and make it some plays on words and so on. And also know that the prevailing allegorical meaning is a good feature in proverbs, and not always, of course, but very often. And so we think more about these differences from the everyday language we speak about proverbs. The frequency of good, better, and best indicates, however, that there might be some formal distinguishing characteristics than these, like the frequency of the synonyms or different words of different forms of a word, as you have seen in that graph. So I am sorry, but I did not hear about someone who would go into this, which does not make discover or something. Not at all. Maybe it's completely different in other words than good, better, and best. But we should go into this, we should analyze it, and we should find that maybe this might work, and that maybe there might be more references. And maybe the reference is between the frequency of the positive, the comparative, and the superlative. We don't know. In good it is, and in Czech, and I hope also in English, but I don't have the data on English, on the everyday language, how often it is used. Let me, in addition, end with something that almost 300 years ago said the Czech writer Karel Kučera. He pointed out that what was called better or best could not automatically be called good, because sometimes, good is a sort of absolute independent statement about something. If you say better, it's relative. You always compare it to something, and best, it's the same thing. It's not absolute in this way, in this meaning. And Uh, he said that very often, you know, the commercials tell you that this is better, and the politicians say this is the better solution or best solution, and man, it's not even good, in fact. And so there might be more difference between these words than it seems at first sight. So that's about all. I will mention more differences in the article, and thank you for for your patience and listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Karel, for such an interesting presentation. We have some feedback from the public, so let me put some questions to you. But before, let me tell Finula that we need to see your PowerPoint later when you can. If you don't, if you are not able to put it on your screen, send it to us by email, and we will show in one of the next vlogs. So OT asks for Karel. So better in the beginning of a proverb is a very frequent word in the English language. Isn't it in your language too?
Well, it is, yes, like better late than never. Better late than never, it would be the same. You would put it at the beginning. And yes, there are a lot of proverbs like that. Yes, it is. Still good. I mean, best. It seems to be the relative in a relative frequency more often than better. But yes, otherwise the answer is yes, and it is very frequent too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Karel, are you planning to broaden your research and include some other proverbs containing the three forms, positive, comparative, and superlative, of other adjectives?
Well, I can do that, but the problem is not so much doing that for a single word and for the proverbs. Actually, the problem is if you have the data about the language and how it is used in everyday language and how often it is used. So it would be interesting, but to really find the data in English. I will do that if I have more time, because there are corpora, language corpora, huge corpora, especially for American English, and so I can deduct or extract the frequency of better and best from them, and compare it really in how it the two or three words and their frequency in English. I'm sort of not sure how to do that in other languages, especially those that don't have language corpora, you know, millions of words, or at least thousands
Okay.
of thousands of words. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much again, Karel.
Not at all, not at all. Pleasure was mine.